Let us practice some problems to find out whether an element is an ion or a neutral atom. We have to keep it in mind that a neutral atom has electrons and number of protons equal, while an ion has electrons and protons unequal. If we are given number of protons, neutrons, and electrons, we can figure it out whether an element is a neutral atom or an ion. Here is the problem. Determine an element or ion that has 26 protons, 30 neutrons, and 29 electrons. Here is the key. If you are going to look at your number of protons and number of electrons, if they are equal, it means it's a neutral atom. However, in such case, we have different number of protons and electrons. So we know this is an ion, having some charge on it. Now, starting from atomic number, we know atomic number is number of protons, which is 26. Mass number is number of protons plus number of neutrons. And in such case, we are given with the number of neutrons as well. Adding both of them, we got the mass number, which is 56. How can we figure out the atomic charge on it? Since we know that number of protons and electrons are different, so it's an ion, not a neutral atom. To figure out the atomic charge, we have an equation. Atomic charge equals to atomic number subtracting the number of electrons. In our case, we have atomic number 26, while the number of electrons are 29. Subtracting both of them, we are going to get -3. It means on our element we have -3 charge. To figure out which element we are talking about, we have to look to the periodic table. 26th atomic number element is Fe, which is iron. Writing the symbol of our element, we are going to give a charge on it, which is -3. It means the number of electrons are added to an atom, since we know electrons are negatively charged. Let us see another example in which they have asked us to find out the atomic particles like electron, protons, and neutrons. In this problem, find the protons, electrons, and neutrons of nitrogen with a negative charge. It means they have given us an ion already. To figure out the protons, electrons, and neutrons, first we have to find out its atomic number. We know that the nitrogen has 7 number of protons by looking at the periodic table. If you are going to look at the periodic table, nitrogen has atomic number 7. It means the number of protons are 7 too, since we know atomic number is equal to the number of protons. To find out the number of the neutrons, we are going to subtract number of protons from the mass number. In our case, we have 14 mass number, and we are going to subtract the number of the protons, and we got the number of the neutrons, which are 7. To figure out the number of electrons, we will use the same equation that we have used in our first problem. Atomic charge equals to atomic number subtracting the number of electrons. Since we have to find out the number of electrons, we are going to take the atomic number to the other side of equals. Figuring out and solving, we will get that the number of electrons are 9. This is how we can find out the atomic particles. So in nitrogen, we have 7 protons, 7 neutrons, and 9 electrons. Let's have a look on another example. In such case, we have to find out the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons of fluorine. Now, we know that the atomic numbers is equal to number of protons. In our case, they have given us an element, fluorine. By looking at the periodic table, we have to figure out where is fluorine. The number of protons in fluorine are 9, since we know that number of protons are equal to atomic number. To figure out its neutrons, we all know that neutrons equals to mass number subtracting the number of protons. In our case, we have mass number 19, which we have taken it from the periodic table here. Subtracting the number of the protons, and we got the neutrons, which is 10. To figure out the number of electrons, we will use the same equation. Atomic charge is equal to atomic number subtracting the number of electrons. In our case, the fluorine doesn't have any charge in a problem. So we are going to put 0 as atomic charge here, atomic number 9, and we will find out the number of electrons. Solving the equation, we have found out number of electrons are 9. So this is how we have found out that fluorine atom has 9 protons, 10 neutrons, and 9 electrons. And if you are going to look here, in a neutral atom, number of electrons should be equal to number of protons. To find out the number of electrons, we are going to use the same equation. Atomic charge equals to atomic number subtracting the number of electrons. Since we do not have any charge on the fluorine atom, we are going to put atomic charge value 0. Finding out the number of electrons, we find out that electrons are 9. How do we know that this atom is a neutral atom? Since in a neutral atom, number of electrons are always equal to number of protons. And this is our clue. This is a neutral atom. Let us solve one more problem to figure it out if the given element is an ion or a neutral atom. Determine an element or ion described by 20 protons, 20 neutrons, and 18 electrons. So we will use the first clue. If the number of protons are equal to number of electrons, we know it will be a neutral atom. However, in our case, number of protons are not equal to number of electrons. It means it is an ion. To figure out the atomic number, we know that atomic number is always equal to number of protons. In our case, the number of protons are 20. So the atomic number will be 22. So we have to find out the mass number now. And we know that the mass number is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. So adding the number of protons and the number of neutrons, which is 20 here, we find out that the mass number is 40. To figure out the atomic charge, we are going to use the same equation, which is atomic charge equals to atomic number subtracting number of electrons. In our case, we have atomic number 20 and electrons 18, which are given in the problem. We have found out that the atomic charge is positive 2. So to find out which element we are talking about, we are going to see that if the atomic number is 20 in the periodic table, which element has atomic number 20? In our case, we have calcium here, which has atomic number 20. So the calcium has positive charge on it. It means 2 number of electrons have been taken out since it is positive and electrons are negatively charged particles. If you have any questions, comment us below and I am going to answer it.